Do you fight for your rights?
Yes.
I fight for my rights.
Either a Beastie Boys fan or a sovereign citizen. Stick around and we'll find out.
Go nuts on my nuts.
He can't be a Beastie Boys fan, obviously. He didn't say to party. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Playing a Blinder with me, the Creaky Blinder. And by way of a change, I thought today we would look at something other than flat earth, because at the moment, flat earth just feels a bit, well, flat. And due to the fact that there are a plethora of other morons scattered across YouTube, I thought it was only fair that a guy like me, who has spent the last 2 years honing his pointing and laughing skills, share them out equally. Tidy!
Today, I was disgusted by some of the comments in the comments section on sovereignty, on sovereign citizens, the right to travel.
Now, I'm not going to fully disagree with him on this point, because as we all know, the YouTube comment section can be a toxic place. But what he means by he was disgusted by his comment section, I can only imagine his disgust comes from the fact that so many people disagree with the absolute crap that sovereign citizens think puts them above the law.
Okay, following? So check this out. Today, I puked in my mouth a little bit when I was reading these weak men. If you don't stand up for your rights, you're not a man.
I'm not a weak man, or at least I don't think I am. I am a law-abiding man, and I do stand up for my rights. Upon doing some extensive flat earther style research, searching through YouTube, the one reoccurring theme I found when it comes to sovereign citizens is the right to travel. And from the way I understand it, what they're actually referring to is the freedom of movement and the United States law, which is in the Privileges and Immunities Clause of the United States Constitution. And this particular section was written in 1873, so to say that it's not exactly up to date may be a little bit of an understatement, and as far as I can see, it all stems from a massive misunderstanding by these idiots. So everyone lawfully within the territory of state shall, within that territory, have the right to liberty of movement and freedom of choice of his residence. Everybody shall be free to leave any country, including his own. Weird. I didn't see any mention in there of not needing a driver's license or insurance. But that could possibly be, and bear with me here, because in 1873, cars weren't a thing.
Anyways, I travel with no license, no insurance. No, I have insurance right now, but that's because I could afford insurance for this month. But when I got my mortgage and I gotta buy dog food, I gotta buy food for me, I gotta pay electric bill, I gotta do all that. Sometimes I don't have that extra 275 bitch ass dollars to pay this insurance company in case something happens. In case!
This guy's obviously got a clockwork brain, hasn't he? And he forgot to wind it up this morning. Well, of course we pay our insurance in case something happens. Not having something happen is the ideal. I really don't see the problem. And I hate to say it, but can I suggest one of two things? Either find a better job, or a job if you don't have one, or just don't drive.
It's not gonna happen. We don't know if it's gonna happen.
He really seems like the type of guy that they would use as a blueprint for building idiot, doesn't he? That's the whole point of it. We don't know when an accident may or may not occur. So you pay your car insurance, which is a legal requirement to drive on the roads, so that in the event of an accident, you're covered. And more importantly, the poor unfortunate person you happen to crash into is covered as well. Let's say, for argument's sake, that you're driving your car or van or whatever it is you choose to drive down the highway, and you crash into somebody in a Porsche. Now, I know exactly what you'd come back at me with on that. Oh, well, if they can afford a Porsche, they can afford to get it fixed. And yeah, they probably can. But why should they? Because an irresponsible moron like you, Mr. Sovereign Citizen, thinks he doesn't require insurance to drive on the roads?
Here's everything you need to know to be man. I'm not going to say a man, but to be man. And I'm speaking of the species. We're not human.
Well, I'm a human being. What exactly are you?
You know what human means? You know what the legal definition in the Black's Law Dictionary, 1860...
1860 something, so really up to date again. If you're going to cite legal references, could you at least make them apply to this century?
But you know what the absolute definition is? And by the way, the Black's Law Dictionary is the dictionary that they use to write the language into law.
Wicked, that's really interesting for a book that was written in the late 1800s, but are you actually going to make a point?
Did you know that human is legally defined as monster?
Right, so what he's misinterpreted, what he's referring to here is in Black's Law Dictionary, it actually says that a person can be more than just a human being. And what that means is, for example, in the United Kingdom, some businesses can be set up as a limited liability company, an LTD. And in the eyes of the law, that limited company is its own legal entity. But I've been looking at this really boring legal stuff for the last half an hour, and it's doing my head in. So I'm not going to look at it anymore. And if you look for the actual legal definition of human, which is relevant today, not in the late 1800s, this is it. This. No mention of monsters anywhere.
You know what monster is? It's like deformed. It's. Anyways, monsters have no right to land.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Did you know that? No, because they don't want you to know that.
Oh, so we're back to they again. Who exactly are they? And why would they want you to not know what you just stated? Probably because it was the biggest load of old shit I've heard in my life. If they were real, of course.
What? No, that's not right. That's not right. Traveling. Okay, here we go.
Ugh, at last, he's actually gonna talk about a sovereign citizen's right to travel without a license or insurance, obviously.
Right now, this is a driver.
I was wondering what that round thing was he was hanging on to. It's a steering wheel.
He is engaged in commerce. That's why I'm sitting over here.
No, you're not. You're sitting over there because you haven't got a driver's license, you muppet.
I'm sitting over here because I don't have
a driver's license or insurance. And more importantly, why are you sat on the driver's side of the vehicle but the steering wheel is mysteriously on the left? Damn you pesky Americans and driving on the wrong side of the road and the car.
So, you gotta look at it from this point of view. Just because everyone says something doesn't make it right.
Now, I was going to insert something witty here, but I think I'll just get straight to the point. Surely that debunks everything a sovereign citizen believes in, because you did actually just say...
Just because everyone says something doesn't make it right.
So, in this instance, everyone being all the other sovereign citizen morons saying that you don't require a license, you don't require insurance, that you're free to travel, and that you're not answerable to the law, by the logic you've just used, you've just shown that none of your arguments are valid. Thanks.
You have to use your brain and read a goddamn book. You know, like you open it up and it's like got paper like sheets in it, and those are called pages, and it has little words on. Read a fucking book.
Cute. This moron is telling us to read a book. That's rich, coming from a sovereign citizen. How about you read a book? Maybe a book about the law. And why have you got stupid tattooed above your eyebrow? Does it say stupid? I think it does.
And do the research on who wrote the book. Older books, not new books.
Oh, well, obviously, heaven forbid we should read any books that are actually up to date and may contain information about the laws that apply today. Just read older books from the late 1800s, because they're applicable, obviously.
Because they have to be factual. The right to travel any roads by any means unmolested shall not be infringed.
Well, I travel the roads unmolested most of the time, every day, and my right is never infringed. I'm free to do so. But we don't live in the late 1800s anymore, bozo. We live in 2020, or what's left of it, because lager lurgy and chiz. But we've still got that right. The only difference is now there are certain stipulations that we must adhere to not break the law and to not put other road users in danger. You dickhead.
Amen. You're not gonna do it, y'all. You're gonna be fearful because you are afraid of cops. They scare the fuck out of you, alright? I mean, fuck, I've been beaten up by cops. I was wrongfully charged. I got charged one time for resisting arrest.
And were you? Or were you cooperating? Because if you were cooperating, then that's absolutely awful. But I find it difficult to believe from a sovereign citizen, the people that believe that the law means nothing and they're above it.
Y'all can eat a bag of dicks.
No thanks. I'm full.
But we don't stand up for our rights. Like, if you're not engaged in commerce, you are not driving.
So if I jump in my car now, which definitely has an engine, 4-wheel seats, a steering wheel, a car, and go for a drive just because it's a lovely day, I'm not going to buy anything. I'm not going to sell anything. So no commerce involved. According to sovereign citizens, I'm not driving. So what exactly am I doing then?
That is the definition right there. That is the law. That is our rights. If you are not able to afford insurance, but you have a baby at home and your baby's just screaming and needs milk, and you don't have no money for insurance, but you got that $3 or $4 to put in your gas tank and then take your ass down to the store, you can travel to the store. No one's paying you to go to the store.
Oh my god, this guy is so stupid. But if you're going to the store to buy milk for your baby, that is the definition of commerce. You are traveling to buy something.
You serious?
And I can't wait to read the fucking dumbass comments. Dumb as fuck comments.
I think what he means is the comments that disagree with his ridiculous idea of what is right and wrong. Tidy! Now, I've been asked a lot, hundreds of times in fact, if I'm ever going to add hats to my merch store. So, skadoosh, tidy caps. Grab one now while stocks last. No, I'm leaving these ones on there, so for all the people that have asked, you can now buy a tidy hat. So do it. And on that note, I'm out here. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow night on the Agree to Disagree channel. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Alright, watch this next. But before you do, make sure you subscribe. By order of the Creaky Blinder.